Town Hall in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. It's eTown with this week's guest from Vancouver Island, British Columbia, singer-songwriter Sam Weber. From the American Solar Energy Society, Sarah Downs. And award-winning singer-songwriter from Calgary, Alberta, Feist. I'm Helen Forster. Join me in welcoming our host, Nick Forster.
Thank you, Helen. Thanks, everybody. Welcome to eTown. We have all the things this week. We've got all the ingredients for a classic eTown show. We've got great songs, great singing, great playing, got smart, thoughtful guests. We've got some good works to celebrate, and we're going to have fun. Sarah Towns is here. Sarah is working on a lot of projects with the American Solar Energy Society. One of them brings solar power and energy-efficient housing up to the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota. That's coming up. We're going to learn about that. From Vancouver Island, Sam Weber is here. Really talented guitar player, singer, songwriter. I know that sounds typical, but he's not typical. He's special, and you're going to find that out too. Up first, we've been working for a long time to make this happen because, well, you know why. You know why. There are people who have to make art, have to express themselves. Creativity is not an option. They have to express whatever it is they're feeling in whatever ways they can. Our first guest has been singing since she was a teenager in Calgary. Started out in punk bands and metal bands, and then after she moved to Toronto, indie bands and rock bands, and she started releasing her own songs and her own records 25 years ago and has not stopped. Along the way, she sang with Muppets and movie stars. She's had songs in TV shows and Apple commercials. She moved to Paris, then Los Angeles. She sold a few million records along the way. And she had everything stopped like all of us did during the pandemic. That was right when she became a mom and she lost her dad. She kept writing through all of that. Her latest record is called Multitudes because of all of the things that I just described. And she's here with her band. So please welcome to eTown for her first visit, Feist.
Helping kids out of their clothes, weighing babies, having been born. Unpacking the bags and setting up, planting lilacs and buttercups. But in the meantime, I got it hard, sinking full of living without a yard. Maybe years until one day my dreams will match up with my pace. Dirt roads, deep snows, watching the fire as we grow.
Leslie Feist, welcome to eTown.
Thank you so much.
It's funny, we talked about this more than 10 years ago backstage at Telluride.
That's right.
About you coming to eTown. Here you are. Very exciting.
We planted the seed.
Good things sometimes take time.
Most good things start in catering at a festival, though.
Yeah. I wonder how many relationships. Actually, I met Helen backstage at Telluride.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
it works
exactly.
out. That's right.
Well, you've been at this a while. I was just trying to think about your life early on in Calgary, singing in choir, singing in punk bands. Those don't always go hand in hand. The punk phase must have been teenage angst.
In my case, I didn't really have any musical education. I mean, choir is a great place to hide out, sort of.
Right.
You know, so in a way, you're not really listening to the quality of your voice. You're learning about melody, you're learning about harmony, you're learning how to be a part of something bigger than yourself. And actually, it's a great place to learn to sing loud.
Yeah.
Because no one's really going to hear you.
Did you have outfits when you were in the choir?
Yes.
Yeah,
I had
okay,
to wear a cummerbund.
Yeah. Just in case anybody got pregnant. I don't know what that was
It was
for.
a Catholic school, so it would follow.
Yeah. So you were singing choir, then you went into punk rock music, and I understand that when you started singing punk music, you hurt your voice a little bit. You strained your voice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way, it was the birth of my interest in quiet and vulnerability and melody. And I learned to play guitar because I lost my voice screaming, basically. So I was thinking, I need to just find a way to not need so much volume. I didn't want to be yelling it to the back of the room anymore.
I have a probably unrealistic fantasy concept of the Toronto music scene of the mid-'90s when you arrived there at the age of 20 or whatever you were, that it was inclusive but also competitive in a good way, and that people were wanting to sort of raise their game, and that it was supportive and kind of international and a little bit experimental. And
Were you there?
No, I'm just making it up. I've never even been to Toronto.
You were very much there. I could not have encapsulated it as well as that. That is exactly what it was. It was remarkable.
Oh, good. So, and it raised your game. You had to meet the level of talent that was around you, but it was also welcoming, right?
I kind of situated myself as the little sister in a lot of bands.
Right. Every band wanted you to join the band.
Well, I got to be a bass player in one band and just figure out how to hold down a root, and then I got to be the rhythm guitar player in another band by just saying, yeah, I play guitar.
Yeah.
But ultimately, my learning curve was vertical in those years, for sure.
In case you've just tuned in, you're listening to eTown, and I'm here with Feist. You know, I have a photograph of my youngest daughter when she was about 2, and my grandfather when he was about 98.
They're together.
They're together, and my grandfather's walking towards the sunset, and I called, and my daughter turned around, so she's facing the camera as my grandfather's walking to the horizon. And it spoke to this passing of generations.
That's beautiful.
Which you just experienced.
Yeah.
The arrival of your daughter and the passing of your dad.
That's right. It's an impossible crossroads to find yourself in joy and grief at the same time. I really did feel like I was in a crucible for a couple of years there. It was sort of an unthinkable paradox to hold, to open my heart completely to this new little person while my heart was trying its hardest to close against the pain of such an impossible loss.
Yeah, it's the fundamentals of life and love, and if you feel that's going to happen to you.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's going to happen to you that you're going to be the person who's going to die.
Yeah.
That's what also becomes quickly apparent. I think pun intended. Is it okay to make a pun while talking about death?
Yeah. Parenting.
You become
and
a parent, and then it's very apparent.
Yeah.
What's going to happen next to you?
Yeah.
So it's you feel it for the love of the other people, and then all of a sudden your mortality becomes very, very visible.
Yeah. Your song Red Wing alludes to California winters.
That's right.
And which you now experience because you're living in LA, so you could you're away from the Northern Ontario January weather.
That's right.
Did you land in a community for you and your daughter that you feel connected to now, and you've got some people?
It's so strange how it's sort of like a zeitgeist. The neighborhood I live in, everyone that I know seems to live there too, but none of us planned it. Let's all, give you 11 years and we'll meet on this particular street corner, but it keeps happening. And so there's old friends, new friends. There's, of course, you can get a whole new community of people when you have a child because...
it's like having a dog.
But who walks around on two legs? What's the...
No, I mean that when you walk around with your dog, everybody talks to you.
That's right.
And when you have a 4-year-old, every other 4-year-old or 3-year-old or 6-year-old is going to connect.
Yeah, they see each other.
I'm not equating your child with a dog,
well,
just so you know.
I do say that the dogs I had before prepped me for this level of love.
Yeah.
Geriatric dog is kind of parallel to tiny infant.
Yeah.
In that you have a lot to take care of.
Yeah, it's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, a lot of responsibility.
Yeah. But you seem to be on a really good creative path, and this blending of your life transitions and your new role as a mom and your creativity and your new location seems to be going okay.
Oh, thank
you. From a distance.
It feels okay from the inside, too.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad it was possible for you to take a break in the middle of this tour and stop here and come to eTown.
This was fantastic. It was a gift to get to come here finally.
Well, we have more music to get to. So help me please welcome back to the stage at eTown, Feist.
Speak plain, he said, but didn't say he acted that way. And held me like a cub. Fill me up, then pour me out. Therein lies the doubt. We had the same feelings at opposite times. A good man, a good woman, can't find the good in each other. And a good man and a good woman will bring out the worst in the other, the bad in each other. But what and how to find us now when we become two, fluorescently blue down the neon river. This madness canoes either without or with her. When a good man, a good woman can't find the good in each other.
That's Feist. Along with Andrew Barr on the drums, Todd Dolloff on the bass, Amir Yegmai on guitar and violin, and Rose Droll on the keyboards. They'll be back, play some more music later on in the show. Feist.
This portion of eTown is made possible in part by the Bohemian Foundation, building stronger communities through the bohemian qualities of creativity and imagination. On the web at bohemianfoundation.org. You're listening to eTown.
I'm Nick Forster. You are listening to eTown. Feist is going to be back to play some more music with her band in a little while. Right now, I want to tell you what's next. Some of you know that we've been talking about renewable energy here on this show for a long time, more than 30 years. I've interviewed tons of scientists and policymakers and authors and innovators about this subject. And I always looked for something that was beyond the facts, something beyond just saying we're screwed, to try to find some solutions and some things we can do to make a difference. It's pretty hard to do, and we're not doing better as a planet than we were 33 years ago when we started, but I still believe in the action and the effort. So you are actually sitting in one of the greener buildings of its kind in the world. No natural gas or petroleum products coming through our walls. We've got a bunch of PV up on the roof. Our next guest is also on the front lines of action regarding renewable energy. Sarah Towns is the CFO for the American Solar Energy Society. It's actually a nonprofit that's been around for 70 years, which surprised me, 1954. They are advocating for the widespread use of solar power. She's been doing some really exciting work up in the Pine Ridge Reservation and also just bigger policy stuff that's working in big ways. She's here. Please welcome to eTown, Sarah Towns. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. So glad you could be here.
Thank you, Nick. I'm delighted to be here.
The American Solar Energy Society. It's a nonprofit. It's a membership organization working on lots of projects all over the place. What are you doing?
So our fundamentals, we have 20,000 members all over the country. We are affiliated with the International Solar Energy Society, and we run a bunch of programs that just bring people together around information and action and advocacy. So we have a national conference that we do every year that we just came from in Washington, D.C. Wonderful magazine, Solar Today magazine, comes out quarterly. And we have actually a mentorship program for up-and-coming renewable energy professionals. And that's what brought us into the work that I think got your attention for the show.
Yeah, thinking about the work you're doing up on Pine Ridge. So you're building renewable energy capacity up there on the reservation.
The particular project that we've designed, called Project Tioshpae, which is a Lakota word for home, extended family, community support, it has multiple layers. There's these wonderful dome houses, beautiful, efficient, affordable, super resilient dome houses. We know they're resilient because one of the early ones, 3 days after it was built in Iowa, a tornado passed right over the top of it, and it was unscathed.
Wow. It's made out of ferrocement or something? What's it made out of?
It's called aircrete.
Aircrete.
It's a wonderful technology, much better environmental footprint than concrete. Like if you see a piece on the ground, you go to pick it up and you're ready, got your muscles in it. Oh, it's like styrofoam, 80% air.
Yeah.
But it's incredibly strong. And these domes, the aircrete is like a foot thick. And
Wow.
like the dome that I slept in, tiny little space heater, snow on the ground outside, toasty warm all night, turned the space heater off.
Let's also remind our listeners that it's tough weather up there. A lot of the housing up there is sort of 50-year-old mobile homes and things that aren't well insulated. So the opportunity to have a well-insulated home is a welcome change.
Not just a well-insulated home. the housing stock is really a challenge. I mean, some people are working, 20 degrees below and you've got cardboard in the windows. It's a very, very needed upgrade.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So you're working to promote that and provide some energy sovereignty.
Very important
independence.
principle in native lands.
Yeah.
And it's also a shared goal of this administration, energy sovereignty for the United States.
Yeah. And so you're working obviously on larger projects elsewhere as well. But I just thought that one in Pine Ridge was cool, particularly because we have an affinity there and a connection with that place.
So our contribution to the Dome project, we proposed to the RCR team, Red Cloud Renewable, hey, would you guys be interested in if we applied for a grant to put solar on these fantastic domes?
And you were successful. You raised some money.
$500,000.
Yeah. Wow. That's great. And so that's a great start. Yeah.
Thanks.
So that's an example of the kinds of things you can do to sort of leverage other activities around or support and amplify other activities that are going on around the country, come in and help find partnerships and bring resources and expertise.
These initiatives that started really with the Inflation Reduction Act, which is basically a decarbonization act, $433 billion invested in our country for this effort of climate health. And there's $5 billion on the table for CGC, Coalition for Green Capital. They also got a $124 million Solar for All award to bring renewable energy, to bring solar to everyone of North and South Dakota. And within that initiative, 25% of it, $31 million, will be hopefully a sub-award to the American Solar Energy Society to really focus on bringing solar to the tribes. Just bring everyone together around sustainable living and renewable clean power.
That's cool. It's a big deal. Is it just at Pine Ridge or other tribes as well?
All the tribes.
And obviously these efforts are going to reach a lot of people, right? You're not just talking about tribal lands or tribal residents.
If these huge initiatives that are currently in momentum through the federal government have the time to play out to their completion in the next 5 years, we're going to see a transformation in this country. We're going to go from a country that is very, very anxious to a country that is extremely positive, powerful, massive change.
Yeah.
We're going to be on the team.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it happens. Yeah. If people want to find out more, if they want to become a member of the American Solar Energy Society, website?
ASES.org. Join the party.
ASES.org. Okay. Thanks a lot. Sarah Towns.
Thank you, Nick.
Well, I mentioned that Feist and her band are going to be back to play some more music in a little bit, and I also mentioned that we've got yet another talented, smart, and well-behaved Canadian on with us this week. Sam Weber grew up in British Columbia on Vancouver Island. He started making music with his family, eventually began touring in Canada. Wasn't long before he began coming to the States, came to LA to record. He moved there, lived there for a while, is now living in Portland, Oregon. But he's been writing and recording and producing and playing a lot. And like everybody, he also had to sort of change direction during the shutdown. Instead of making his next record in a big studio, he also pivoted and recorded in friends' houses and brought the scale and the scope of the recording down to a very personal level, which was reflected in the sound of this new record, which is really good. He's one of those guys who can do it all. He can play, he can sing, he can write. We are just a little bit late to the party because he's been at this for a while, but we're still very glad that he could make it here to eTown and join us. So please welcome for his first visit, Sam Weber.
Surrender. I'm losing myself. I'm losing my drive. Bleeding out slow. The face doesn't lie. Hey, paid endorsements. They paid for my shoes, then they paid for my hair. Went to buy you, but you weren't for sale. Gonna get through when the moment is right. Everybody gets blue, everyone has a price. I'm California, but my heart's in the Midwest, and my feet's on a side quest, and the East Coast is singing, and they keep betting me on it. Babe, surrender, I've been selling my way. Babe, surrender, I've been keeping my face up against the wall. I'm gonna get through when the moment is right. Everybody gets blue, everybody gets blue, everyone has a price. Well, I'm gonna get mine when the moment is right. Everybody gets blue, everyone has a price.
Thank you. I just want to take a second to thank everyone, to thank you guys and the whole band here and all the crew here. It's like a big family, and just to get to parachute into this world, it feels more like a professional vacation than a job. So I'm really stoked to get to be part of that.
Ask me why. Haven't had a good day for a long time. You ask me why we're always fighting. Flirting with the warning signs in many ways. Love is a battle for a borderline. You gotta learn how to straddle when it's knocking you down. Get back in the saddle and ride. Hey, we all gotta hear it, we all gotta feel it sometime. Someday the truth's gonna find us, there's no use in hiding away. And only so much heinous shit we can share, confidence we can bear to lose. Gonna build mine back up, try and make a deal, try and realize what I'm feeling. I don't know any better. I don't know any better. Hey, we all gotta hear it, gotta feel it sometime. Someday the truth's gonna find us. There's no use in hiding away. Hey, hey. Wanna reach beyond what I need. Remember how to dream. Gonna get out of the scene of life. If they pigeonhole me, I won't think twice. I'm alive in many ways. Love is a battle for some peace of mind. I'm gonna stand on the front line when it's knocking me down. Look into my own heart and try a little harder now. Hey, we all gotta hear it, we all gotta feel it sometime. Someday I don't wanna hear it, I don't wanna feel it all the time. Hey, we all gotta hear it, we all gotta feel it sometime. Someday the truth's gonna find us. There's no use in hiding away. Hey, hey.
Thank you so much.
Sam Weber, welcome to eTown.
Thanks so much for having me.
So good to hear you play and sing. It's Vancouver Island sounds like kind of an idyllic place to be isolated and learn how to play the guitar.
Yeah, we grew up in this little corner of the island that was really special, and lots of music happened there. And
What kind of music? In your house?
in our house, yeah. My dad was a drummer and a jazz. He loved jazz music. He was a saxophone player and a piano player, and my brother was a brilliant piano player. So we would have these like epic living room jams together and just sending like Aerosmith songs and having the best time.
Starting when you were how old?
Probably like 10.
10, wow.
Yeah.
Did you think it was cool at the time?
I knew it felt good.
Yeah.
You know, it felt really, really fulfilling and sweet and special.
Did you have any friends?
Yeah, I had a few core homies that
Yeah.
I palled around with.
Yeah. And they thought it was cool that you were making music with your dad every night?
Yeah, I mean, and some of them would come play too. Like
Oh,
eventually,
cool.
you know, it kind of became a thing, and I'd play in other little bands with other folks too.
It's funny because it goes either way. I mean, I've heard stories or met people for whom they were so into the music and their family was into this, supporting them in their musical journey, that it separated them from the kids who were just playing Nintendo or the kids who were just doing other things that didn't involve music.
Yeah.
So it's cool that you were able to use that as a way to be centered and still share that with your peers.
Yeah, I think I had a normal childhood too of playing Nintendo and sports and all that too, but it was again like another form of connection with my peers ultimately. Yeah. Less of a dividing thing. Luckily.
And then when you started touring, you started playing locally. Was that because you were writing songs or because you were doing covers, or how did you start?
I started playing in bands around town and then touring locally, and then the circumference just got wider and wider.
Yeah.
Canada, and then a little bit of the West Coast US, and kind of all of US and Europe, and it just kind of a slow like growing circle.
And I'm trying to imagine who you were listening to as you were evolving as a performer. Who are your people that you were kind of aiming towards?
A lot of like the classic songwriters was kind of where I landed around that time. Was a lot of Joni Mitchell and Jackson Browne was a big inspiration, and kind of acts like that, Neil Young, all those songwriters. I think I started listening to classic rock radio, like more of the kind of Aerosmith thing, and really loving, like feeling like maybe I was connecting with this guitar, but then realizing I was connecting with the songs, and I think that just kind of cascaded from there, you know?
Yeah. I know the guitar you're playing has a unique sound that I'm sure the audience can tell is not typical. I know that it has a rubber bridge, which is atypical.
Yeah.
But I started hearing, I guess, Blake Mills and Madison Cunningham,
Yeah.
LA people,
Yeah.
playing the rubber bridge, small-bodied guitar with flat-wound strings and made this sort of tubby, thuddy, beautiful musical thing. And it's part marimba, part guitar. You know, it's cool.
The coolest thing about it is it kind of coincided with that moment, I feel like, that I was really connecting with the music in LA. It was like this 2017, 18, 19, there was a thing happening where Maddie just put out this great EP, and I loved it, and then I figured out who produced it, and then made a record with that guy. It's a guy named Tyler Chester, who's amazing, and yeah, it's just something impactful or compelling about how that era was kind of stamped with that brand new sound, or like a sound that was very, hadn't really been pushed into the forefront the way it had.
The guitar looks like a Telecaster, but it's got a different kind of a rig going on. It's got the rubber bridge.
Yeah.
Sort of like a guitar,
Yeah.
only a little thuddier.
The cool thing about these guitars is you can play really dissonant things, and they just kind of, they die in the water, you know, so they don't hang across like a vocal line the same way.
No sustain, really.
Yeah, less sustain.
And then give us the vocoder thing. How does that work? So it's a little keyboard that's wired up to your vocal mic.
Sorry, I'm just laughing because I'm trying to think of what I'm going to sing or say.
Can you sound like Darth Vader? No.
Welcome to eTown. Welcome to eTown.
We're going to use that on every show from now on.
Yeah.
We've got it. So thank you.
You're welcome. It's a song I wrote, so I'll get royalties for it, I think,
right.
which is great.
Well, listen, we've got more songs to get to. Welcome back, if you would, Sam Weber.
This song's called Into the Void, and it's coming out later this summer. Thank you guys so much, and yeah, thanks for listening.
Almost moved to Santa Fe. Turns out it's too far away from my love. You can find me now and then, gawking at this church from the 16th century. That's a lot of war and peace gone by. Look at those conquistadors and all the blood they've spilled. Life is a thrill to the end. Sticks with you now and then. How far you go, how far you go, into the void, out of control. I barely made it out alive, and off of the 25 highway I looked up and headlights, they were tearing through my lane. Sometimes a thrill gives of control. If you should call my name, speak to me clear and plain, my love. I may never be the same, but yours I always will. Life is a thrill, sticks with you till the end, the end of the road, out from the cold and into the void, out of control. Out of control and into the void.
Thanks for listening.
Sam Weber from Vancouver Island, now living in Portland, along with eTone's Adam Bodine, Christian Teal, Chris Engelman, Helen Forster singing harmony. His record is called Ain't Life Grand. New album coming this year, Clear and Plain, Sam Weber.
Your visit to eTown is made possible in part by the Scientific and Cultural Facilities District, or SCFD, one of the largest cultural funding mechanisms in the United States, supporting nearly 300 organizations in the greater Denver, Colorado area. By the way, there are over 2,000 videos on the eTown YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure, and you can also subscribe to that channel if you'd like to stay up to date with our past and latest video offerings, including right now. So, you're listening to eTown.
Thank you to the eTones. I'm Nick Forster. I want to say hello to our listeners who are hearing eTown right now on stations like KNAU in Flagstaff, Arizona, on WTTS in Indianapolis, Indiana, and on WCNR, The Corner in Charlottesville, Virginia. Thanks for tuning in. As always, if you want some more information about any of our guests, or if you want to find out how to get tickets to a live show, or find access to some of our many, many videos, a lot of stuff is online at etown.org. Okay, so we have done what we promised. We've got some great singing and great songs, all the classic ingredients. It's good to hear what Sarah Towns is working on with her group up in Pine Ridge. I should tell you that you're also helping that effort because we are committing $1 from every ticket we sell directly to the Pine Ridge Reservation through an organization called Conscious Alliance. So thank you for buying a ticket. We're sending some dough up there too. They need it. All right, would you please help me welcome back to the stage along with their band, Feist.
heads up to a clearing. Get some distance while the rocks come in too near. And I'll head out to horizon line. Get some clarity following signs. Realize what you know that you know by now. First light was, last light was alright when the circle married the line. First light was, last light was alright when the circle married the line. Even from where he is near me, making me unending teary, makes me remember the things that I forgot. It's as much what it is as what it is not. In the rooms that can serve peacefully, far away from him to be lessly. And I'll head out to horizon line. Get some clarity oceanside. Realize what you know that you know by now. Realize what you know that you know by now. First light was, last light was alright when the circle married the line. First light was, last light was alright when the circle married the line. First light was, last light was alright when the circle married the line. First light was, last light was alright when the circle married the line. First light was, last light was alright when the circle married the line. First light was, last light was alright when the circle married the line.
Thank you.
All right, this is one of the newer ones.
Everybody's got their shit. Who's got the guts to sit with it? Everybody's on their own, and that way we're never alone. With the mirror in others' eyes, that'll get you every time. There are 1,000 different ways to hide. Hiding out in the open, baby, I'm gonna let you down. Nothing's gonna make us new. What's done is not gonna undo. Hiding out in the open, baby, he's gonna let me down. Love is not a thing you try to do. It wants to be the thing compelling you. So what we should probably say, let's put it off for a few more days. And anyway, I'll pretend not to hear till you whisper it in my ear. Ooh, hot voice on my neck would change the context. I want you warm as hello from bread. 1,000 ways to be fed. do. It wants to be the thing compelling you to be you.
That's Feist and her band, Multitudes, her latest record. We've got time for one more song. I want to get everybody back on stage, and we're going to do one last song. I want to thank all of our guests this week. Special thanks again to Feist and her band. So good. Thanks for making it after all these many years of thinking about it. Thanks to the eTones and to Helen Forrester. Thanks to Sam Weber, yet another smart and talented Canadian. We're going to do one more song together from one of our favorite singer-songwriters in the world, Lucinda Williams. I'm Nick Forster. Hope you can be with us next week right here in eTown.
Baby, see how I've been living. Velvet curtains on my window. Let the bright and forgiving light from shining through. Baby, I remember all the things we did when we slept together in the blue behind your eyelids, babe. Sweet babe.
Chased your sand through the gloom till I found these purple flowers. I was spent, I was soon smelling you for hours. Lavender, lotus blossoms too. Water and dirt, flowers last for you, baby. Sweet baby.
Tangerines and persimmon and sugar cane, grapes and honeydew melon, enough fit for a queen. Lemon trees don't make a sound, the branches bend and fruit falls to the ground, baby. Sweet baby.
This is a production of eTown.